going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family. Smoochie.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we're going to start with a boxer. Former boxing champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been deported, Mojo, and he's currently in custody in a high-security prison in Mexico. Now, you may remember, TMZ Sports broke the story on July 2nd, just a couple of days after his loss to Jake Paul. Julio was arrested in Southern California, in Studio City to be exact, by ICE agents, Immigrations, Customs, and Enforcement agents, in Los Angeles, Mojo, because he had a warrant out of Mexico. So the U.S. authorities held the former WBC middleweight champion until he was to be deported. Now, it took a little bit of time. It's not exactly clear why, Mojo, but he was not deported until yesterday. Yesterday, shortly before noon, Julio was handed over to authorities in Mexico, but of course, that was, like we just said, not the end of his problems, Mojo. He was not let off and free in Mexico, in his home country. No, he is in custody of the Mexican officials, and he is facing very serious charges. It's unclear exactly what those charges are, but they are in connection to alleged organized crime connections, Mojo. Organized crime meaning the cartels. He has also been accused of weapons trafficking. Now, he's not been convicted on any of these things, so they are all allegations, but that's what he is facing right now. If ultimately convicted, there is reason to believe that he could face decades and decades in prison, Mojo, something like 40 years. So obviously, for a guy who is 39 years old, he is, potentially facing the rest of his life in prison. It's a serious situation for a guy who was, who had, biggest issue that he had a couple of weeks ago, Mojo, was that he had just lost to Jake Paul, and a lot of people were making fun of him for that loss. Not so much the case anymore. Much bigger problems for the former boxing star.
Yeah, losing to Jake Paul doesn't even register right now with everything that's going on to this guy. I mean, obviously, very serious charges and waiting to get all the details and specifics on that one. But, man, it's the timeline that does it for me, Babcock. And we spoke about this previously. I mean, this was a high-profile fight. I mean, that's the whole point when you fight Jake Paul, is it's a high-profile fight. There's going to be a lot of eyes on it. There's going to be a lot of money that goes into this. There's going to be a lot of vetting that goes into this thing as well. And that's the part that gets me, is with such a high-profile fight, how did he even make it through the fight? I don't know. Was there any inner workings backstage to put off this arrest until they made it through the fight? Because obviously there's a substantial financial commitment invested into this thing. I don't know. I mean, you kind of hope not, right? If there's criminals, you don't just allow them to roam the streets free of charge. If they have a big upcoming event coming up, I mean, you would want them to get handled right away, but I don't know what the case is here.
A lot of people looked at him, and although he was a champion, as being a disappointment. I don't know that was really fair to him, and I think a lot of people were comparing him, Julio Jr., to the legacy and the accomplishments of his father, who you see right there next to him, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think you could make the argument that Senior is the most legendary and well-respected Mexican athlete ever. Not just boxer, but ever. I mean, soccer, whatever the sport is, Mojo. I think he is the guy. And it is kind of surprising to me, not that he should get any special treatment, but that this has happened to a guy who is essentially the son of Mexican royalty. But bottom line is, again, we know shortly before noon yesterday, the government of the United States handed him over to Mexico. He is currently in a cell behind bars and, like we've said, facing very serious charges. It's a story that we will continue to follow. Stay tuned. All right, Mojo, moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals played a preseason game last night against the Washington Commanders, and fine, they won the game, but who really cares, right? Result doesn't matter. What it does matter for, Mojo, is for the players who are fringe roster guys, who are fighting tooth and nail to make the football team, to make the final roster, Mojo. And perhaps nobody has helped themselves more, not just for the Bengals this preseason, but league-wide, than a guy by the name of Mitchell Tinsley last night. So Mitchell Tinsley, Mojo, was a couple of years ago. He was an undrafted guy out of college. He actually played his first 2 seasons in the NFL. He's going into his 3rd here now. Played his first 2 seasons with the Washington Commanders. Well, he was doing work against his old squad last night, Mojo, because he caught not 1 touchdown, but 2 touchdowns on back-to-back possessions, and obviously was a big reason why the Bengals won this game. How much does it help him as far as the roster spot goes? Well, it seems like he got the attention, Mojo, of his superstar quarterback, the guy who on this football team has more say than anybody else, and that includes Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow, after the game, Joe Burrow speaking glowingly about Mitchell Tinsley. Take a look.
Yeah, that guy's been making plays all camp. I've been really happy for him. Hopefully, he's secured a spot for us, and he's a guy that you can really count on. I think he's a smart guy, knows all the positions, and you have a guy that you can trust like that. That's very, very valuable.
What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, we're getting to where I feel like I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish, and I think, I'm finally getting close to where I want to be. It was a lot of fun, for sure. Hopefully there's a lot more, because, I feel like for me, it's just the beginning. I want, there's a lot more that I want to get, that I have goals set. So, for me, it's just the beginning for me.
Mojo, the co-signing from the quarterback, from Joe Burrow, might mean more than like Zach Taylor, the coach, or the GM. That's how obviously influential Joe Burrow is in Cincinnati, and you got to feel pretty good for the player.
Oh, absolutely. Now is not the time to cash out on your success and get too big for your britches or make any of those kind of mistakes, but man, this one speaks to me, Babcock. I was an undrafted player myself. I know how tough it is to make the team as an undrafted player. They don't necessarily want you to make it, right? They want their draft picks to make it. Those are the guys that they burn the team currency on. If an undrafted player makes it, means one of their guys didn't, so on and so forth. So him to go out there and rip it up like this means a ton. And you said it, Joe Burrow, tremendous influence within the team. If he says he likes a receiver, if he says this guy is one of my favorite targets and this is the guy that I want to go into the season with, they are going to listen to that. I'm not saying that is going to be the end all, and I'm not saying necessarily Joe Burrow is going to go ahead and plant his flag on this young man like that, but my goodness, this just helps so much. A wide receiver, a guy that can also play special teams as well, that only helps things out. Showing a little nastiness against his former team, that's got to feel good too, right? A team that you were with clearly didn't like you enough to keep you, and here you are just burning them. It is the preseason. They probably don't care that much. However, you see a guy perform like that, it's hard not to feel some type of way about it. So you got to love this.
Up next, Chiefs wideout Xavier Worthy is finally reacting to Taylor Swift's shout-out on the New Heights podcast. We'll hear from the Kansas City speedster when TMZ Sports comes back right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, believe it or not, the music world, the football world, still talking about that Taylor Swift appearance on the New Heights podcast. Of course, she joined her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, and his brother, Jason Kelce, for, I guess, what is now the most watched podcast episode of all time. Now, one of the really cool moments of the show was when Taylor talked about her newly acquired love of football, Mojo. She admitted, she said, look, I didn't know a darn thing about the sport before I started dating Trav, but now I do. And she even told that story about the moment when now Chiefs star wide receiver Xavier Worthy was drafted with the 28th pick out of the University of Texas. Well, I got to imagine that was really cool for Xavier to watch. Now we actually have his reaction, Mojo, watching the clip The Chief took video of him listening and watching the podcast. You can see his face. Really awesome moment. Check it out.
Became like a person who was running through the halls of my house screaming, "We drafted Xavier Worthy!" And my friends are like,
I forget where I was, but you were the first person to tell me that
No, I
we
was
drafted the fastest
screeching.
man in the draft.
no, I was screeching. I couldn't believe it. I was freaking out. We're
I
talking
couldn't
about
believe
like,
it either. I'm like, wait, is she right? I had to look this up. I'm like, did she get the wrong information here? But yeah, we traded up.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, she's the biggest pop star in this generation, so it's crazy to have somebody running around the house screaming, "We drafted me." That's tight though, that's what's up.
He is such a talented athlete, but he could walk anywhere, I guess, outside of probably Texas and Kansas City, and nobody would have any idea that that was Xavier Worthy. And Taylor Swift is now talking about him, who, like he said, is the biggest pop star in the world.
Yeah, Babcock. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that this guy is a first-round pick. He had the fastest 40-yard dash in the history of the combine, right? 4.21, I believe, which is obviously lightning fast. A guy that is an incredible athlete, but that right there, that little comment by T. Swift is probably going to make that man more viral than he's ever been for any of those other things potentially combined. How ridiculous is that? How absurd. It's funny that this is the first time he's seeing it. I figured the first time he would have seen it, it would have been right after his phone just blew up with literally 2,000 notifications within 3 minutes of T. Swift dropping that reference right there. So that's just absolutely nuts. He's right, though. Like, this is a big deal. She's one of the biggest stars on the planet has ever had. So just a little comment like that carries a little weight. There was a little T. Kelsey love being showed, too, reminding people of my guy's speed and his worth to the team. So that was cool that Trav backed her up right there. But, yeah, it's just nuts, right? The things that'll make you go viral.
Coming up, a WWE superstar relinquishes her world title, but it's for an amazing reason. We'll explain why Naomi is giving up her championship when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, it's time for We Love It, a Mojo's Friend edition here, starring WWE superstars Naomi and her hubby, Mojo, Jimmy Uso. They were on What's Your Story, the What's Your Story podcast, starring Stephanie McMahon, Mojo, when they made a pretty big and exciting announcement. Watch this.
How did you find out?
In my hotel room. Had been feeling a little different, a little weird. Just wanted to take a test to find out, to make sure, kind of rule that out. Not thinking, because it's been a long journey with fertility issues that I've had. So yeah, I just really didn't think it was possible.
Like
Took a
all
test.
this time, you didn't think?
No. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay my title down right here. My custom title. I'm gonna leave my title here, and I'm gonna give you helpers 9 months and some change to do whatever you want to do with my title. And even if I gotta come back, breastfeeding with my baby in my arm, I'm coming back to pick up where I left off.
Hey, there we go. I absolutely love it. Gosh, that makes you feel so good. And what a promo by Trent. Babcock, this is the best. This is the story of the month. My two good friends having what is absolutely going to be one of the most athletic, talented children of all time. I mean, right there, there's a lot of charisma, a lot of athleticism, and a lot of good vibes with that couple right there. So we wish them the absolute best. Babcock, I've been waiting for this announcement because now that I'm not in the WWE anymore, it's hard for me to know for sure if these are storylines, if this is reality. I don't know where the line is anymore, Babcock. So I was talking with the couple earlier today. I was like, hey, my apologies on not texting something sooner, but I had to know this was legit because I know y'all would have ate my lunch if I would have fallen for some stuff I wasn't supposed to. They are thrilled to death. They're so happy about this. I'm so happy for them. Two people that have been very good friends of mine for a very long time. I actually stole one of Trinity, one of Naomi's moves earlier in my career.
No.
I don't know how often I've actually ever talked about that, but here it is. That's out there for the world to know now. And I mean, Uso, we spent a lot of time hanging out in the road, locker room, all that stuff. Man, I love this family so much. So a huge, huge congrats to them. Fantastic, fantastic news.
You know, Mojo, she said, I'll come back and I'll do these moves with the baby while I'm breastfeeding. I'm picturing her flying through the air holding the baby. It's gonna be electric in 9 months from now. There we go, Mojo. All kidding aside, absolutely awesome. Congratulations.
Hey, she's enough of a freak athlete to legit make that happen. And I wouldn't even be concerned for the baby's safety in that case.
Derek Fisher unloads his Los Angeles mansion. We'll tell you how much the 5-time NBA champ scored for the 5,691 square foot mansion. Next on TMZ Sports. So you like my hair, right?
Oh, I love it. I wish I could do that. Mine's falling out. And gray.
Hey, what kind of hair gel do you use? Because I just got the faux hawk, and yours like dry and up there.
You gotta use like a paste. That technology is so
it's off the chain, yeah.
So cool.
Hey, yeah, just like that haircut is off the chain.
Oh, you like it, Lawrence?
Crazy haircut.
Do you like it?
I have one like this all my life.
I don't know what you do or what time in the morning you get up, but whatever it is time well spent, my friend. It's a work of art.
His hair is so smooth that his last name should be Babecock. Babecock! Yeah! That's how smooth his hair is.
I love that. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. For Alexi Lawless, I just wake up and it just stays like this. That's how much product that is in this thing, Mojo. It just doesn't move at all. So
pure
you are.
Art. We're living in a time of pure art and beauty.
Right, no, you are now our hair guy, but I used to be. All right, Mojo, let's talk about Derek Fisher and his wife, Gloria Govan, of course. 2 stars. They just sold their really nice, they're beautiful LA area home, Mojo. They had this thing on the market here for a couple of months. Well, finally, they sold the house. Mojo, here's what I'll say. It's a beautiful house, but it's really modest. And I give them a lot of credit. You don't need to spend all your money on a house. It's near 6,000 square feet. It's got just about everything that you could want, including a basketball court, a putting green, Mojo. It's got 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, of course, on the inside. It's got the super high ceilings and all those nice, really, luxury things, Mojo. It's got the oversized island in the kitchen. It's got a library. It's got 2 lofts, 3-car garage. You see the kitchen looks really nice. So it's a really nice house, Mojo. They ultimately ended up selling it for under $3 million. So for $2.85 million to be exact, Jordan Cohen at Remax handled the sale, and he gets it done for Gloria and for Derek. Of course, Derek had a really nice and a long NBA career. He made about $66 million just as a player, Mojo. He's done media. And he's also coached. He spent a couple of seasons at Madison Square Garden coaching for the New York Knicks, and then came out here to Los Angeles where he coached the Sparks, Mojo. So made a lot of money, of course. Gloria has made a lot of money too, and now they got $3 million extra bucks in that bank account, Mojo.
Well, Babcock, this segment went another way. I thought we were going to talk about something hair-related with that glorious
Choose
intro.
your own adventure, Mojo. You do whatever you want to talk about wherever you want to go. Either one.
Derek doesn't even have hair. Like, it's not even relevant here. But I love it either way. Let's run it every single segment. I mean, my takeaway here, Babcock, is that they have this 6,000 square foot mega home in California, and it was under $3 million. I know you guys do real estate out there. I figured, look at this pool, man. I figured that home would have been like 15 or something.
Right. It seems like a bargain, doesn't it? Much like I've seen houses like around here that cost $3 million. It looks like a shack. That looks like a really nice house.
I know, so that's why I don't think I should be saying congratulations to the couple here. I'm sorry, my condolences. I feel for you. You guys made a mistake. Maybe you hit hard times. Maybe we need to do some investigating into this, Babcock. I mean, that $66 million, are they bankrupt? Are they broke? Why would they give this home away for such a criminal? I mean, this entire segment just got flipped upside down at its core. I don't know what to make of this right now, Babcock, but I am concerned about this couple. Something's wrong here.
You know, I know what you're saying, Mojo, and they've got a lot of land too. I mean, you know how it goes in cities, especially. It's hard to get yourself a yard, and they've got enough of a yard to have the basketball court and the pool and all that stuff. The putting green must be nice. We got to go, Mojo. We're out of time. Hair, real estate, you never know what you're going to get here. Shout out to Israel Castro at Master Barbers in LA, Mojo. He hooks me up. We got to go. We got a big show planned tomorrow, though, Mojo. It's going to be great.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Shout out to the barber. Indeed, just rotate your head to the side for a second. Let everyone see now the other side.
I just got it, yeah. Just got the face.
Just really, really good stuff there. We'll see you tomorrow where it'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.